Is this thing on?
Yeah. John and D podcast episode 99. This is Alex Caravan, VP of Biz Ops, drinking a. We're cracking. We got a couple special guests today, so we're cracking open a. Go ahead and say this for me.
Malbec. Unagi.
No, I know the Malbec part,
yeah.
bro. yeah. We're getting some unagi.
Argentina,
the spicy eel for anyone.
2017. It was a great year.
Yeah, but anyways, enter yourself. I'll start pouring this out.
I'm Andrew Aydt. I'm a hitting coordinator here.
Tanner Stokey, director of hitting.
Josh Herzenberg, manager, player personnel.
So good to have you guys on. Josh, first time on the pod.
Welcome.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Give the peeps a little bit of your background.
Yeah. Played in college, scouted, and coached in the Dodger system for 3 years. Covered the amateur draft and coached in the minor leagues. Spent 2 years in Korea working for the Lotte Giants of the KBO, and spent a year as assistant farm director with the San Francisco Giants. And joined up with you guys, I guess, January. So 4 months you've had to do with
Giant addition to the squad.
good one.
Nice. Thanks.
So got a couple of scalps. What's the worst org you've worked for? What's the best? You start off hard hitting questions.
Driveline. No. Everybody's great. Everybody's amazing. I have good friends everywhere. I've had good and bad experiences.
Yeah.
But I think every organization I've worked for tries to do things the right way, and I think there's some things that we've done really well, and some things probably could have done better. And I think as long as we learn from them, everything's good. You know how it goes. And hopefully, I made a good contribution.
Fair answer.
Thank you. Try my best.
Hey.
Oh yeah.
You didn't get on camera.
I know. but what? Dude. I was gonna hit something. Also, I think this is OCs. I looked at the box.
OCs?
Yeah.
Thanks, OC.
I'll get him a drink next time I see him, which is probably gonna be at Oakland's wedding. I'll bite a little bit more. Yeah, sit down. You want some mixing of your rain?
Yeah, it's basically gone, but yeah, throw some of that on the rocks. We'll give it a shot.
Let's go.
For the boys.
Thank you, sir.
Just a splash, you know?
If you don't mind. Thank you, sir. We're supposed to shake and sniff, right? I went to Napa once in my life.
Cheers.
That's actually smells.
Jeez. You sure that's your first bottle?
Wait, what'd you say? You went to Napa once?
Yeah, so I knew nothing about wine, and now I know everything. I think that's 5 years ago.
That's when you were in San
Napa.
Francisco, right?
Yeah. You just go out to Napa. Don't drive. My advice, if you're in San Francisco,
Don't drive ever.
But specifically to Napa, because then you have to drive home. You don't enjoy Napa as much.
Oh, I was gonna say just traffic. I literally got hosed on this last month. I went to Merrick, our BB Ops contractor, his wedding in Napa.
Yeah.
Stayed overnight in SF.
And then you have to drive SFO to Napa.
Yeah, it was like I drove my car up. I didn't fly, so I had my car up there, and then it was like an hour drive.
Yeah.
His ceremony started at 2, so I left at 12:20.
You didn't walk there?
No, but I was. I didn't tell him this until after. But I was planning on sleeping in my car, because Napa hotels are crazy expensive. Dude, he put on the post
You're changing your tux in the back seat.
What's up?
Yeah. Tux on the back seat.
Yeah. Like he was like, oh, we got a suite of rooms, 500 for the single king, 600 for the double, and I didn't know anybody at the wedding besides him, so I'm not splitting with anybody. I mean, I can't justify that cost for for one night when I know I'm gonna be drinking anyways. So it's if I just am buzzed enough to fall asleep anywhere, I'll just rip my car.
Just need a place to sleep. That's all it is.
Yeah. So but anyways, there was traffic. Pulled over somewhere near the hotel, switched my clothes, got an Uber, got there literally right before the ceremony started. I walked in as him and
that's the way to do it.
The bridal party was queued up, but
no small talk.
Yeah. I mean, if we really want to talk about the small talk during the ceremony, by the way, I usually bullshit. I mean, for you, I don't know if you've seen anything with Rod.
I've watched.
Yeah, okay, yeah. We'll usually bullshit a bit.
Huge fan.
No, you haven't.
No, I really have.
We lost the Nick Martinez one, bro, because you want to know how to close on him.
Yeah, sure.
No, dude, I did sit down next to a very attractive woman during the ceremony. I walked in, and I saw one spot open. I was hey, I'm looking for an open spot. B, she seems to be there by herself. I don't know anybody. Perfect. Sure. Talk to her a little bit during the ceremony, and then she hits me. I was like, yo, what's she's like, what's after this? I was like, I don't know. And she looks at her phone, pulls out this in-depth itinerary. I'm talking 4 or 5 page PDF, And I'm looking at it, I was like, what the hell kind of itinerary is this? I've never seen like such detail. I had like cake cutting, whatever. And she's like, oh yeah, my boyfriend's a groomsman. Like this is what they sent him. Like, all right, I gotta find another spot to sit. I gotta find another spot to sit. Yeah, just walk out of the wedding. Fuck cocktail hour.
Shouldn't have been standing there.
Yeah. But anyways, well, a little bit on your background. I mean, I thought for some reason, so you were only 2 years in the KBO?
Yeah, 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was over there right when COVID started.
Yeah.
Like I moved to Busan, which is the second biggest city in Korea. And then like 3 days
After
later
Seoul?
there was an outbreak.
After Seoul?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Seoul's the biggest.
Yeah.
Seoul's massive.
Yeah.
And then Busan's like the size of LA.
Okay. Okay. I
Yeah.
mean, that's massive.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
How'd that end up happening? Let's say.
Like how to get the job?
Yeah.
So I had a connection with a guy who like knew someone over there. The GM over there used to be a scout for the Cubs, and he's a Korean guy, but like worked for the Cubs for like 12 years. And I think he was just trying to build out like some sort of infrastructure that was kind of similar to what MLB teams were doing. And so I got a phone call as like someone with a pitching background who kind of had an idea of like how to look at TrackMan data and sort of build out like a system. So I got a phone call and went through a bunch of phone interviews, and they were like, would you be interested in moving to South Korea? And I was like, man, I'm in my 20s, I'm single, and like I was like, this
It's the time to do it.
yeah, it's like a great opportunity. I could be like my first leadership position in baseball, and like this would be a cool experience too, to like just move across the world. And so off we went, not knowing that the world was going to shut down. But
Great timing.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. I mean, well, never mind. I'm actually gonna ignore the first question that popped in my head. I was gonna ask about that, but the second question is, so like, what's kind of the biggest cultural difference in terms of like how baseball is run over there?
The workplace culture is the biggest difference.
Yeah.
It's like very hierarchical.
Yeah.
So it was just like a lot of like there's red tape everywhere. There's politics in every like place. It was just like a different structure of like how to communicate and like how to like go about distributing information and stuff. So like everything else is pretty similar. Like guys want to get better, right?
Yeah.
Like, players want to get better. From like a social perspective, like outside of the workplace, it's pretty similar to me. Like I don't know, going out like dating or like socializing with people. Like it wasn't that huge of an adjustment outside of the whole COVID thing. But yeah, the workplace is definitely like a culture that's the biggest adjustment for sure to me.
Do you feel like certain like parts of the business are like valued differently? Like the way the team runs its business, like whether analytics, pitching coach, logistics.
So every KBO team is owned by like a gigantic conglomerate. Yeah. So like Kia, LG, Samsung, they all own the teams, right? Lotte is a big conglomerate also. So every team is like a sort of like a subdivision of the big conglomerate. So a lot of the employees for the KBO teams are not like quote unquote baseball people. They just like work for Lotte and happen to be like, I don't know if they're like assigned to the Giants. I don't know if that's the best phrase, but like they work for the Giants. So culturally speaking, it's more of like what I would consider like a standard corporate environment. Whereas like when I was scouting, it's like kind of the Wild West. Like it's rough, you know, it's like baseball. So it's not, I don't know if it's better or worse. It's just different in that regard. So that was a big difference.
Yeah. And then what about impressions about Driveline a couple months into
here?
Yeah.
I've loved it so far.
There's even differences like structurally how it operates differently versus like.
Well, you guys are very like you guys are like very system. I shouldn't say you guys. We are like very systems oriented here. And so, I don't know, I feel like personally, like the expectations for my job are very like clear. My KPIs are very clear. And like, I feel like the resources available for me to execute are like available. And if they're not, we can like bring it up and like, there's value in the input.
Yeah.
So like similar to how this might be like sales pitchy, I guess, but like similar to how we like do a test, train, retest process for the athletes and try to like iterate and improve their development. I feel like it's similar for the employees behind the scenes, and that like we're constantly trying to iterate and provide systems to build on, and then as a result like be challenged by. So like that's been a really positive thing for me here in the 4 months or whatever.
Is that somewhat what you expected?
Yeah, but I think it's better than I expected it to be. Like it's just more prioritized. Like it's like the thing that I've noticed. It's like everybody cares about. Like I'm speaking with Mike or like Kyle or Matt, Dudo, or like everybody else. Like that's definitely like a focal point in like the daily processes here. So like I hear about it. I mean, Kyle's not quiet about it on Twitter, right?
No,
like
not.
So like
a little quieter than he used to be.
Very much so. So like, but like you know about it, you hear about it. Like obviously, I've known about Driveline for years.
You knew people that were internet.
Yeah, and like we integrated with Driveline 100%. Like
there's some business back in the day. Me and Coin.
Oh, a lot of business. We run some Zooms.
Yeah. We did a couple write-ups for
Lotte.
Yeah,
nice.
Which by the way, sorry, not a distract, but I don't know if you remember this clearly, but I gave him a lot of shit after. I mean, he was giving himself shit. But I can't believe O'Coin agreed to that price on the spot. Do you remember that?
I don't remember the price.
Well, I won't mention the price, but I mean, we kind of undersold ourselves, but we're like striking a deal for like
Sure.
doing write-ups and stuff for a bunch of like minor leaguers that you guys had.
Oh, I
Like,
remember.
kind of people on
price
the
now.
cusp,
Yes. Yeah.
And it was like, these, you got it's not an MLB team, but it's a team. Like,
it was
it's
a
got some
pro
money.
team, yeah.
We're talking about people that are like very high variance.
Yes.
Like if anybody
Yeah.
kicks off, it'd be a boost. And then you're like, yeah. So what are you guys thinking? And O'Coin just goes,
That money, yeah.
give me.
It looks just like him.
Yeah, and then I was like slacking. I was like, just say we'll figure out a number later. Say we'll figure out a number.
And then he
later.
gave me the number, and
Yeah.
I was just like, because I had a budget.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that works.
Yeah, we can do that.
That's great.
It's like,
yeah.
God
I
damn
can
it.
do that one. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah. No, yeah, it was a lot of. I know. I remember I sent you guys over like the Rock Shack Mania and everything.
yeah.
It was. Yeah, I've known about Driveline for years. I mean, when I was with the Dodgers, like that was. So I signed a guy out of the draft out of University of Oklahoma in 16 maybe, Corey Copping, and he was a 31st round pick. Just kind of like good arm action, could spin it, maybe like 90, 93 in college. And then I remember in spring training, Gabe Kapler was the farm director, and he like 10 or 11 guys were brought into what we were just called like a 10-week weighted ball program.
Yeah.
And I think it was Kyle and Jimmy Buffy at the time. And they were in Glendale in Arizona. And Corey was one of the guys that was like invited into the program.
Yeah.
And he came out there in 97.
Jeez.
And it was just like, I don't think we really knew anything beyond like, we're going to just like trial and error this thing.
Yeah.
But it worked. And then the next iteration of the Dodgers programming being implemented was a little bit more refined and individualized, but Tony Gonsolin was in that group. And I remember coaching Tony, and Tony made a big velo jump and just totally refined his arsenal. Tony was a two-way guy in college.
Yeah.
Played the outfield the same areas as well. And then like made that huge jump. And I remember in the playoffs in high A, Tony would probably remember this too. He was on the mound, and I remember looking at the scoreboard from the dugout, and I thought the radar gun was broken because it was just kept saying 99. And as it turns out, like, no, he was just sitting 99 like the entire outing.
Yeah.
And so I think
Throw
at that
weighted
point-
balls.
There you go, throw weighted balls. And I think at that point everybody just realized
Throw
like,
all white smash factor balls.
Smash factor
maybe
balls.
not throw them all the time, but hit them right.
Hit smash factor balls.
But
Throw them at someone trying to swing.
yeah, hard
Yeah.
with nasty shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was when I realized like, oh, this stuff probably works. Like this works,
Yeah.
So yeah, I've known about Driveline for a while, and then like all the processes are just like everything that Driveline publicly says that we prioritize, as far as I've seen in my 4 months, is true. So
Did you realize before you coming in like how many different things we do? This is a lot, right? You talk about all these systems. It's very much necessary.
I didn't think about it, to be honest with you. Like I perceive Driveline, and I don't know how many people in the industry, like in the team side of things, would say this, but like I think a lot of would. Like I perceive Driveline as like a 31st Major League Baseball team with respect to like player development. Like I don't see our development systems being separate. Like I think the purpose of Driveline is to be the most all-encompassing player development department that's readily available to everybody. And so like when you talk about Driveline compared to the Giants or the Dodgers or the Astros or the Rays, it's just like Driveline's another club that's trying to compete. Mm-hmm. So like I never thought about like, oh, they have all these things, because in my mind it's like if that's what's necessary to develop baseball players, then that's what should exist. So like
Makes sense.
yes, I guess, but I don't. Yeah, it just never like a thought in my mind.
A pretty good filter question actually used for interviews for like interns is like I just ask them like what do you think Driveline does?
It's like how familiar are you with what we do?
Yeah, well, but not even that, because I mean
Yeah.
they can like whatever, but like I was like, yeah, just like how do we actually like make money or like whatever, because I mean it's I mean you can ask some people in the company and they might not be able to give you a good answer depending on how like I said they are.
How'd I do?
Oh, just now?
Yeah,
Good.
thank you.
Yeah.
What's the wildest answer you've gotten?
I mean I wouldn't say wild, just like bad answers, just like like baseball software or something, it's like, well, technically yes, but that's like our fifth
you're
like
really
revenue
not
line, and
wrong.
also like
It's not,
yeah, it's also like you just looked at the website and like
ChatGPT
came up with
building.
that. Yeah. Dude, no, I mean I don't know if that's an episode you watched, or if you were just be asking me about the episodes you watched, but I told on air to Boddy, like I just did like a data engineering internship a couple months ago, and Shantanu, one of the guys that stared, hired off that internship, but I ChatGPT, like I sent out a questionnaire to like the qualified applicants.
Story, yeah.
I ChatGPT'd like one or two of the answers. Like one of the like they were asking me ChatGPT, it was like, how do you determine like the system crashes overnight, like a server goes down overnight, you have some log files, like what do you do initially, like how do you determine like what happened, and like I ChatGPT'd an answer, and it was like 20 people had that almost like exact same answer, including one I was like literally like I sent one to York and he's like, wait, which one's the ChatGPT? I couldn't tell.
Mhm.
And then
It's like that John Morant apology. That
Yeah,
came
yeah,
out
I saw
a
that,
couple
yeah,
weeks
yeah,
ago, and
yeah.
everybody was saying he like literally apologized through ChatGPT.
that's crazy.
Kids in school, like college, they're all like.
But
doing
I
that
feel like
stuff.
I'm surprised John Morant even like knows about ChatGPT.
I mean,
I feel like he just
it had to be his
I feel like he just paid
agent
someone
or,
$50 to do it, and
his
the person's
agent
like,
or somebody.
like,
yeah.
$50 is not good enough
It's
to
like,
get
hey,
a
you
high
need
quality.
to put this out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you guys though, like hitting wise, like been a minute since you've been on. I wasn't on an episode, but yeah, how's the hitting department kind of evolved and changed? Or like like anything kind of new there from the last half year or so?
What do you got, Coach?
Hit 'em.
Things have changed a lot, man. I don't exactly remember the last pod we were on, but as far as like athlete volume, the type of athletes we have coming through here, this past pro off season was insane.
Oh, it changes the cap, bro.
Yes, yeah. That's a big thing.
Tanner's been busy.
Yeah, it's been busy. Good things. But yeah, this past pro off season we launched, opened up the facility in Arizona in Scottsdale. So it was flooded with pros, which was awesome. Like we had more big leaguers this off season than we ever have. Currently working with more big leaguers in season right now than we ever have.
Yeah.
And between the two facilities, we're basically going to be at capped through the college summer in both spots.
Yeah.
So the athlete volume is insane.
Yeah.
At this point in time.
Yeah, I think MLB guys. I think last offseason we had like 10 to 12 MLB hitters,
Something like
and
that.
then
Yeah.
I think this year we had like 23, something like that, and then also countless fringe guys and minor league guys.
Yeah,
that
something
packed
like
the gym.
23 that were officially working with us, and we had another probably 10 to 15 that popped in for a day or
Cool.
two to kind of check things out.
Yeah.
Big names too.
A couple big
Yeah.
names.
Which
Couple
obviously
big
like some
names.
people like some people are not cool with it being dropped, so I'm not gonna drop anything. But like, yeah, like as big as it gets. I mean that ESPN article was like a
about,
couple of
about
articles.
the Dodgers
right?
guys that came through.
Yeah. Did you guys notice that impact? Like once that article came out, were a lot more people like asking you guys or calling in?
Yeah, for sure. Like I had a lot of people just randomly replying in the DMs, things like
Yeah.
that. Like I think that has a lot of the reason why we have so many college guys coming through
Yeah.
this summer, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we'll see the biggest impact from that beginning of next off season.
Yeah.
Because most of that stuff comes out in spring training
It's, like,
once
too
guys
late
are
for
back
them
at
to-
camp.
yeah.
So like no
Exactly.
one's really gonna like hit us up like spring training or in season unless like things are going pretty bad for them.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of like, hey,
Yeah.
I need help.
Yeah.
So word of mouth will spread a bunch more throughout the season based off guys doing good or bad and stuff, and then we'll probably see the biggest impact in all the reach outs beginning of next off season.
Yeah, at the same time, like you just got to see results, right?
Yeah.
Like so far so good with
Yeah.
the majority of the Dodgers guys that
Yeah.
came through. The focus for them was obviously looking to gain some bat speed,
Yeah.
right? Go through assessment, learn how to train bat speed,
Yeah.
things like that. And for the most part, man, all those guys' numbers are up right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see at the end of the year, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you said,
I've gotten some like inquiries from clubs also, like big league clubs. I think like that article and like the attention given to like the club integration that we do. I don't know if they were like completely familiar or not, or if it's just like asking questions about the Dodgers having a reputation of being like good at this stuff. I think people are just curious
best.
about the processes, and so like I think there's a chance that we can do some like club partnership integrations as well, like more of that moving forward. And I think those articles were like a pretty good jumping off point for that.
Yeah, the Dodger stuff was really interesting too because like they have very good player development, very good big league coaches, and like obviously we harp on like the big three, and like training like complete hitters in all three categories. But it was like with those guys, as we broke down all their numbers and got into all their stuff, it's like you could tell what their hitting coaches are really good at teaching too, because they all had really good bat to ball skills,
Really
and
good swing
and really good
decisions,
swing
yeah.
decisions. So it was pretty cool to
for
just
the
kind
most
of
part,
like
pretty good bat paths.
yeah.
It's just why the big thing is like
Yeah.
how do we gain some speed?
Yeah. So there's a lot of like maintaining those pass, maintaining those swing decisions, and adding like more speed and more damage on top of it. And so far, like Tanner said, most of those guys are up a couple miles an hour in bat speed so far this year.
I think the Dodgers in particular are a really good example of like an organization who are pretty well aligned, like their player acquisition, their player development processes, like they understand
That's what I've
what
heard
their
too.
strengths are, and then we can come in and supplement because there's clarity about what's exactly needed. So like nobody's perfect. The Dodgers are great at a lot of things, and even if they have a weakness, that's great. They understand what that is and they can execute accordingly. So like that's a really good example, I think, of like a team that has really good systems in place and just kind of understands like where they can make the most impact. So like, and then from there, like we can obviously work with them and supplement as necessary because of those systems that we have.
Yeah, I mean, I was bummed Gavin Lux got hurt.
Ugh.
I want to see that season
Yeah.
play out. I want to see that season play out.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
Yeah.
I was really excited for him.
He's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, I think the Dodgers are also like a good team for us to have that sort of interaction with and notoriety because it's just a copycat league too. Like like obviously the Dodgers have been. I think I saw some. I think they're like I saw a stat. They're on a 100-win record for the last 10 years. And
Yeah, it's
obviously
just
like
been best
Yeah.
team in baseball.
yeah, and like third
Maybe
third
outside
farm
the Astros
system.
for the last.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, the playoffs are a crapshoot. Like whatever. Like I'm sure you'd rather have the Astros last 10 years if you're a fan than Dodgers. Well, depending on where you fall in the trash can stuff. But yeah, I mean, just like top of the league, always been smart, have money invested wisely, and then like they still choose to get that involved with us and see results out of it. So I think that'll be huge. What's kind of like give me a quick down low on what the MLB product is on the hitting side to hitters. Like how do you guys interact with hitters during the season? What do you give them? What's kind of like what are you kind of looking for?
Man, there's some layers to this. So like the assessment and training process in the off season is more or less the same as it would be for all of our hitters, right? Come
Wait,
in.
real quick. Anyone trying to get topped off?
I'm good.
I'll get a little bit.
Let's go, baby.
It's pretty good though. I will say.
It is.
Whatever
I
it
don't know
is.
how to pronounce it, but whatever it is,
Do not,
Argentinian Malbec.
I didn't
My
know
orange
the deal was so
dreamsicle bang is gone. So
I'm gonna go
Or
on. What is
rain,
it?
excuse me.
I
What's the
approve.
website? I don't know.
on it,
Vino.com or whatever.
Vino.com.
Favino, I think.
You should know, man. You're the one with the Napa.
First, I'll save this for you. We change your name. Or yeah, change your name. Sorry, change your mind.
Appreciate it.
If you change your name, bro, you can smash the whole
I'll
bottle.
let you know on both. Yeah.
But yeah, where was I? So yeah, the assessment and like training process is more or less the same it is for all of our athletes.
Yeah.
Guys are gonna come in, go through the motion capture assessment, hit in the lab, hit on the force plates. They'll go through their high performance assessment, a little bit of table stuff, CRPT, collect a little bit more data through the assessment, meet, go over everything, and put together a plan for the off season. Obviously, there's checkpoints in between where we're tracking progress, test, retest, all that good stuff. And then as you get into the season, is where things change a little bit as far as like the advanced scouting, advanced scouting process we'll do for those guys, and that's a little bit different from guy to guy. Basically, giving them insights on the pitchers they're facing. We try to individualize and tailor that to them. Guys we work with and have like a really good relationship throughout the off season, and generally get the most value out of that sort of thing, as far as like game planning specifically to their strengths, to their swing, how they should attack this pitcher, and just honestly just being a resource for them throughout the year.
Yeah.
That's something you see, like all these guys are getting stuff from their teams, and teams have access to some information we don't. But I think somewhere we really stand out there is it's 100% personalized to the guy,
Yeah.
right? And like we have that relationship with them. We know the way they think. We know what they're good at, what they like, what they don't like. We kind of tailor advanced scouting reports to that.
Yeah.
It's like just honestly just being a resource for them, where
Yeah.
we're like solely focused on them
Yeah.
day in and day out.
And that could be like an advantage that is our advantage too, because they have a couple hitting coaches for the staff, and they have double-digit hitters
Yeah.
to like prep for every single game, starters and bullpen. So we just have the luxury of like spending some more time on just like individual guys.
Yeah.
And so we can help them, not only give them good insights for that starting pitcher that night, but then also help tailor their like pregame routine,
Yeah.
like for it.
Yeah.
So they might have like a pretty set routine of like certain drills, but then we can be like, all right, this guy, is a higher spin, like fastball guy. So like on this drill, like you're going high pitch with it, and like this bat, like try and hit it like this ball flight, just kind of like help them prep for the game and stuff.
One thing I remember talking to Ocha about, Jason Ocha, our Driveline Director of Hitting through 2018, like look how unique our machine warm up is compared to like basically teams anywhere, like college pro. Do you guys think that's changed a little bit? Like our machines are like high speed machines with different like nasty breaking pitches too, like more common nowadays than they were a couple years ago.
It's changed a lot,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And you could probably speak on this too, but like you obviously have a couple different types of pitching machines that mix pitches now.
Yeah.
You have the traject machines that
Yeah.
have like the whole video board,
Yeah.
changes the arm slot release, pitch
Yeah.
types. So it's definitely changed a lot. And honestly, O-chart probably has a lot to do with why that's a thing these days.
That's not probably. That's true.
Yeah.
Like 100%. Yeah, like being on the team side, like it's not that we were trying to play catch up. It was more just like you said, it's kind of a copycat league, and so like everybody generally has similar access to similar equipment. I think like one of the benefits that Driveline has that maybe the team has less of is just like the volume of data we're able to collect. We have a lot more hitters that come in every day and a lot more pitchers, obviously. So like we're just able to like validate our processes probably faster than they are. Like we do the same thing. It's just we're validating faster, so we can always stay like one step ahead of the curve as a result.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I think one advantage too is we're used to doing stuff with the data. Like we're not used to just like collecting and letting it like gather dust, which I think is true in other situations or with other teams. But yeah, I remember Oach or like us and Oach did something with the Twins, like maybe late 2018. And it was like a big data collection day.
It was like hitting assessment for him.
Yeah. And I remember I was working closely with him to like get the Twins like HitTrax data in our system and spit out reports and stuff. And it was like nothing. It was just like whatever we did basically, but just like before and after. And he was like so pumped on it. Like everyone had like crazy results because they just like weren't used to hitting against the machine. So like once you introduce that across a couple of sessions, like people's numbers are gonna go up. And it was almost like I felt it was almost like a hack, It's like you
like
plug
this is
people
so
in,
simple, man.
yeah. You
It's
plug
so
people in, and
simple.
there's like
you got
not
these
used to
elite
it.
athletes,
Yeah.
just the best hitters on the planet.
Yeah.
You put them in like a training environment that's more conducive to
Yeah.
in-game success, and they're just gonna see results.
And they're competing against each other at the same
Yeah.
time. Like they're not training individually. Like they're with each other talking shit, like having a good time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's changed a lot where like majority of teams all have, machines and those resources and everything. I think like the next step is just like educating more players and some of the coaches as well, just so they take more advantage of it. Because like every team has it, but like there's still a good bulk of probably hitters in the league that like pregame routines like still don't get to that point.
Yeah.
Like they still just like limit swings. They'll take a bunch of like tee or front toss swings and some feel good BP, and then they'll have a break and go into the game.
How common are underweight, overweight bats at the major league level?
What do you got there?
Decently common, like more common now than they were a few years ago.
Yeah.
Not as common as like throwing plyos.
Yeah.
And like weighted balls that we throw.
Yeah.
But like I would estimate that the hitting space in general is probably like 3 or 4 years behind pitching, like give or take.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's
I feel
growing.
like that gap's starting to close.
No doubt.
But
And like it's growing pretty quickly. And I think like as it becomes more commonplace, as the results start to be seen on the field, like in a loud way in MLB, I think it's going to be the same thing. We're just going to explode. But I do think like one of the challenges, like Aydt said, like the players, like a lot of the players, like they either don't know what they're being evaluated on, or they know that the evaluation is based on their results, but they don't understand how the process connects to that, like in the minor leagues. So like if a guy's in high A and it's like, oh, like you're being evaluated on like the big three. Okay, I get it. Like I understand what a swing decision is, but like how am I how is the training that I'm doing connecting the dots for that? Like
How can I improve it?
and it's hard. Like it's not the easiest thing, number one, to like prove out, but also like for teams to communicate effectively across every single player. So like that's just a challenge that I think hitters in pro ball are facing, and hopefully we can provide more clarity for that. Because like the way we look at things, like the big three metrics is not unique. Like I think a lot of clubs are doing it that way, if not most clubs are doing it that way. They might like evaluate it differently, but the idea is the same.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, to answer the question about like underload, overload bat training and stuff, like I think it's not quite there yet across the league, but it's certainly growing. I wouldn't be surprised if like we circle back in 12 to 24 months and it's just like, yeah, of course we're swinging. These different
Yeah,
types of
he's
bats.
got it.
Yeah, like duh. We're
Yeah, the
close.
results are real.
Yeah, like it's not.
There's
like,
no way around it. The results are real. Same idea with throwing weighted balls.
Right, but there's no hitter on earth that can't like benefit from swinging bat faster.
Yeah.
Like Aaron Judge, like John Carl, like they can still swing the bat faster. Like I understand he had like these guys have the most elite bat speed, but like what's bad about swinging it faster?
Yeah.
It's great to hear a non-hitting guy say that.
Just gonna increase that margin for error. You know?
Right. Well, I mean, the
Hitting's
pitching
hard.
guys, the
Hitting's
pitching guys keep
fucking
throwing
hard.
104. We got to give you guys some kind of chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like for me, it's almost like conceptually like the idea of introducing someone to like compound lifts or like different tempos. It's like if someone's never lifted heavy, or if someone's never lifted fast, like of course you're gonna make gains. Anybody that's like worked
you're gonna
out for
see
a
your
while,
beginner gains,
like
for sure.
knows that's you change up variables, you
It's
produce
different
like force at
stimulus.
different rates. Like yeah, you're gonna make overall gains.
It's interesting you say that because like my first introduction to like driveline specific weighted ball programming on the pitching side was like I said with the Dodgers. Somebody made that connection as like it's just like weight training, and it just like clicked like that. I was confused. I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
And,
they
somebody
learn from me,
said,
bro.
like, it's just like these guys that throw these like colored baseballs into a wall, like looks weird,
Yeah.
because it does. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, it's like weight training. We're like putting them in constrained environments, increasing and
training.
decreasing the weights. I'm like, oh, it just like clicked right away. It's like I think if people think of weighted bat training in that way, it's like the same exact concept, and it just makes sense.
What years were you with the Dodgers?
My last year with the Dodgers was 18, so I was there for that whole thing, with the whole like the whole programming of everything.
Yeah, that's funny. I think 2018 Winter Meetings. It was me, Mike, Boddy, Sam Breen, and Aydt for a little bit of it. Aydt was already kind of with the Phillies, but we met with the Dodgers. This is like one of Boddy's favorite stories from
He's got a bunch of those.
Winter Meetings. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Be here all night talking about that.
But Boddy's got a bunch of stories that have sunk me in the past. I'm not gonna tell one of those though. But we met with the Dodgers like the night before. We had like 20 meetings scheduled across like 3 days. Like almost like basically like full work day, like 1 hour pitch meetings. Boom, boom, boom. And we met with the Dodgers before because we already were like pretty friendly with them. So it was like really casual. They came over like 10 p.m. A couple of them. People were like drinking, and we had like these pamphlets. And this like there's like a woman that came over. I think she's like someone's wife. And she just like picked up like this 50-page like Driveline pamphlet because we've always like we've always had a lot of stuff going on. I think one of the challenges from a business point of view, and I'm sure you can already relate to this, is just like communicating like what our products are, what products you care about if you fall into this niche, and like how to like
And what matters.
tell the value. Yeah. So we had like a 50-page pamphlet. Like you can imagine, this is like 5 years ago.
Sure.
So it's even more vague. We don't have like AP plans and whatnot. And she just like again, I know nobody there. It's like kind of like my first like introduction to like rubbing elbows with a bunch of pro ball people. And she just like picks up the pamphlet, like kind of lazily like flips through the whole thing in like 4 seconds and puts it down. And I'm just like trying to kind of crack the ice with a joke. I was like, checks out. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, no, I just saw you go through the whole thing. Like, what'd you think? And she just like looked so taken aback for like 2 seconds, and then kind of started laughing. And then Boddy just thought it was so funny.
Dude, the checks out comment just like rolls through my head.
Yeah.
At least like 15 times a week. Just watching somebody exist, I'm just like, checks out. It happens all the time.
Yeah. The other one he loves telling is the floss story too. You guys know that one?
The floss story.
Like our last meeting was with the Mets, and they only had like one guy. It was like
the same year.
Same year, yeah. Like 4 days later. And so we'd already gone through like the whole, ringer, like we're tired,
Sure.
whatever. And then I'd like just asked Boddy for a floss, and then we're rolling up, like the Mets guys rolling up, and then me and Boddy just joking around about like trying to introduce like a word or something, like almost like Super Troopers, like meow style, So
I have heard this one too, yeah.
He's like what should we do? Or I was like, what do you want to do? He's like, let's just do floss, because it was fresh in his mind. I was like, all right. And the rule is you can't say it the first time you talk, because you can't be like, oh, my name's Alex Caravan, blah, 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 floss.
I like floss.
Yeah. You got any floss on you, bro? And I think, so we both talked, and the guy was talking, and I was like, I like borderline interrupted Boddy to like hop in after he talked, dropped floss, whatever, sat back down, feeling cocky. And then Boddy like one up me, like technically I won, but he just after that, like he just followed up and went when he's like, yeah, to follow my coworker's metaphor, like training at Driveline is like basically like, like use floss, like really get everything that you can't get like through brushing your teeth. Like brushing your teeth is like the regular training, like flossing you like really get in there, really see nuances. Like talked about flossing for like 3 minutes, and then he finishes, and the guy's like, "Oh, thanks." Like that floss metaphor actually really
Just completely done.
Yeah. And I was like, I mean, yeah, you can have the win, but
Hey, if it works, it works.
yeah,
So our in-season product for MLB guys is still floss.
yeah.
It's the extra stuff they don't get from the team.
We're helping you floss, baby.
Just rename
flavored
the AP plan, dude. Just rename it the flossing it out plan.
Driveline floss.
Yeah. Well, do you guys want to explain the AP plan just very very briefly, and or like what the MLB deliverable there is?
To build off just like the in-season stuff, to build off what Tanner said with what we're providing, like with scouting and pregame routines and stuff. Like another thing we also do is we set goals for them as well. So like they'll have very specific goals to them that we'll update them on like per week and like per month, like recaps as well. So like we'll build goals off of not like traditional stats. It's more of like expected metrics and stuff like that we know is going to produce in a game and provide the team value, like barrels and 90th EV, bat speed, maybe like ball flight stuff, like swing decision stuff. And then we give them like, we're talking to them before and after games, but then like each Monday we'll give them like a recap of that week before.
Yep.
And so like basically most time if they're hitting their goals or coming close to it, it's like they had a successful week.
Yeah.
And majority of the time, like the traditional stats and their on-field performance kind of reflect that.
Yeah.
But then we're also there to like explain to them like when you had an unlucky week, like we don't need to make a swing change because you just ran into some like bad ball luck or something like that.
Yeah.
So like there's been plenty of times for guys throughout the course of a season where they actually had a really good week, but it feels like a terrible week because they had a couple over games or like they hit like a skid.
Yeah.
And they want to make a swing change, and then it's just like, no, like this is why.
Yeah.
And then the next week they go off, you know, whereas instead of making a change where they don't need to, and then it kind of like snowballs and keeps that slump going, we can just like kind of keep them on the right path.
It kind of ties into what you were saying earlier about like basically every team tracks similar stuff. Everybody has their big three, you know, and like a lot of times hitters, pitchers, athletes in general just don't completely understand like how is it going to help me produce? Like why do I care about this? Like what actually matters? And this ties into exactly what you're talking about right now. And the example that's probably on your mind right now is Lars, right? Like a lot of this stuff and a lot of what we do is just like teach guys what to focus on and what actually matters. Building off what Andrew said. And the perfect example there is Lars Nootbaar, a guy we've been working with for a couple of years. He's broke out the last couple of years with the Cardinals, obviously. And he's been pretty successful. He ran into a stretch 2 weeks ago, something like that, where he had really, really poor batted ball luck. He was in like a 1 for 24 stretch, something like that.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. And it was like coming up in the media that like, what's going on with Lars? Like, what's wrong with him? All these things.
There's
and
more pepper grinders.
Yeah, more pepper grinders. And he got interviewed and basically said, yo, like, this sucks, but I just had maybe my best batted ball data of the entire season, right? It's like, I'm not concerned about this at all. Like, you know, just unlucky and like I'm focusing on the right things. I'm doing the right things, and it just didn't work out for me because the BABIP gods weren't in my favor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the way he worded it too is sort of spot on. It's like I'm gonna like look at more stuff of like what I can control.
Yeah.
You know, so like for him, it's like okay, I did what I could. I did well in what I can control, and like the stuff that caused the bad week and results was like something I couldn't control. So it's just kind of is what it is, and kind of move on. So
Yeah. I think it lines up with what Langen's been saying on the pitching side too. Just like knowing not to overreact to small sample sizes. That's like almost half the magic. You have a lot of info. You can pull like different views, different splits, different like lengths of time, and then like it's like what do you actually tell the athlete to focus on?
Yeah, and
Because
it's just the way that
get lost in the sauce.
just the way that hitters are conditioned, right?
Yeah.
Like they just think they need to constantly tinker, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, you go 0 for 5, you go 0 for 10. It's like I need to make a swing change.
Yeah.
What's wrong with my swing? When in reality, like you might have just got unlucky.
Yeah.
Maybe you're swinging at the wrong pitches.
Yeah.
It could be something very simple where like it's not you don't need to make a drastic swing change.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think we do a really good job of with the guys in season.
Yeah.
Is just really being a resource for them, directly for them. Let them know it's like, hey man, like, yeah, you're getting really unlucky right now.
Yeah.
But what you're doing is right. You need to keep focusing on that and just like keep hammering away at the same things you're doing, and then it ends up working out.
Yeah.
and like every hitter's obsessed with their swing too. So it's like it could be
Try swing.
they might not have been unlucky. Yeah, they might have just actually been bad that like week or two or whatever. But it's like, yo, dude, it's not your swing. Like
Yeah.
like you're diving or you're lunging or like whatever
Yeah.
you think it is in your swing, but that's happening because your swing decisions. Like
Yeah.
your chase is way up, like
Yeah.
you're chasing stuff in or out, and like your mechanics are like adapting to those decisions.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and that's not to say we don't care about swings,
Yeah.
right? Like we have a biomechanics lab for a reason. Like we think the swing matters a lot. Like on that note, like another thing we do with our guys in season is like we're constantly watching their at bats. We're constantly checking in on their swing. So when something comes up, it's like, okay, I see this. You need to make this small change.
Yeah.
We'll do this in your programming. You should focus on this. Swing these bats. Do this in your pregame work. And if it's not that, it's like, hey, simply put, like you're swinging at the wrong pitches. That's
Yeah.
why everything's breaking down. That's why your batted ball quality is so much worse right now.
Yeah.
Shift your approach to this. This is what you're facing today. This is what you do in pregame, and just try to get guys back on track sooner.
Do you guys do anything, or even weigh in on anything like recovery or health based?
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, because that to me is probably one of the trickier things to do because it's, it's harder to have like very specific data. Like you can have as many data points as you want on a swing recorded in MLB stadium. Well, maybe not as we want, but like obviously like a ton. And then like they can go out and eat poorly or sleep poorly or like kind of like have a sprained wrist or whatever, like how does that like kind of communication go? What do you guys find you like?
Yeah, I would say a lot of that is just
Focus
from.
on?
I wouldn't say it's like actual measured data. It's more like qualitative, just talking to
Yeah.
the guy.
Yeah.
Like one of our higher profile guys last year was like he started to like go through a little rough stretch and stuff, and it was because his back was bothering him because
Yeah.
like the beds in the hotels weren't right,
Yeah.
and it was causing him like back issues and stuff. And so like we had to cut back like swing volume pregame, cut down like how much bat speed work, like maintenance stuff he was doing in
Yeah.
season and stuff to kind of like accommodate for that.
Fly out Terry.
Yeah,
Fly out
exactly.
Terry.
But like there, like we didn't have like any like numbers, you know,
Yeah,
to go off
yeah.
of. So a lot of that just comes from continually checking in with
Yeah.
the guys and having
The
good
relationship.
relationships.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, makes sense.
But on that note, like kind of tied it into bat speed training, right? Like constantly having our guys use their blast sensor, right? It's
Yeah.
like an easy way to monitor their bat speed numbers.
Yeah, and
And it's like, hey, like your bat speed's down right now.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to cut back here. Maybe you need to like take an off day, cut down your swings. Maybe we'll not do bat speed training today and we'll do it a couple days later, like after your off day, things like that. So just like constantly in communication with these guys and iterating on their programming and what they're doing to try to optimize for the recovery.
yeah,
And it's exactly what you said. Like it's the importance of talking to guys every day and being there for them. It's just like, you know, that bat speed's down. You know, they're struggling. They're telling you that they feel slow or they feel like this and that. And this could be something as simple as like my back is bugging me because this hotel bed sucks. So it's like, all right, we're not going to do bat speed for the next couple of days. You have an off day here, take that off, and like the next day, then we'll get back to it.
Yeah, definitely. And
sleep on the floor.
Yeah, sleep on the floor.
Or in your car.
Yeah.
Order a Tempur-Pedic
Oh, bro.
mattress.
I wook up so stiff that morning,
No
dude.
shit.
Because my feet were like on a shotgun, like, you know, like fucking headrest, and like my back. I was like, oh, I'm so destroyed. Yeah.
The best metaphor I've heard for like everything with the advantage plan is like it's kind of like having a caddy in your back pocket, where it's
Yeah.
like Tiger Woods isn't going to go on the golf course without a caddy who understands his swing and his
Yeah.
tendencies and like all these things. Like if you're a big leaguer, you're elite, like you're the most elite of the elite. Like having someone there to help you sort of refine all your processes, even if it's like the most minuscule tweaks that we can make with big leaguers often have the most impact.
Yeah.
Because there's like such a gap margin between the next guy. So yeah, like that's the best metaphor I've heard for like the advantage plan is the most all-encompassing support package that I think is available for guys. And like it's kind of like having a caddy there with you every step of the way, because like not only do we have objective information off of which to make our decisions, but we also know you at an intimate level to where we can take those like subjective elements that you're telling us and like kind of like marriage them together with the objective information we're basing the decision on.
Well said.
Thank you.
I want to talk about smash factor balls for a little bit, just because that's been like really successful. Now, especially now that I'm in working one.
This one's used.
Um,
You take some swings on the pod?
yeah, fuck. I gotta finish this wine, bro. So I can take some swings. Anybody else want a bit?
I'm good, man.
Thank you.
All right.
talk about production. Can we lay over the video afterwards of you out in the cage hitting smash factor balls?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or recycle Brady and Lindley's.
Yeah.
Well, good marketing value. But
Brady just getting smoked by 100
Yeah.
smash ball.
But I mean, I guess one thing I think that's really interesting is like you know, you guys basically came up with the idea, right? Like you guys were like, what can we do here to like not hurt like hitters' hands and actually get like very high quality high velo like batted ball contact, and it's gone really well. We ordered like we just kind of like started selling all white smash factor balls. Net I'm kind of like running some of the warehouse operations too, like or like I was looking at inventory and trying to optimize that. Like smash factor balls are selling, like they're fucking flying off the shelves.
The people like the smash factor
It
balls.
works.
Did you want to talk about how you like that idea originated and everything that went into it?
Yeah, man. You touched on the idea of just like not hurting hands and things like that. But when we first wanted them, like obviously we have hitting plyo balls.
Yeah.
We use those a lot for like training bat to ball skills. Like we work in guys' bat path, and it's really great feedback. But there was always the idea it's like we don't have any sort of like bat to ball training tool for the machine, for the pitching machine, right? So like the idea with this, it's like it's a foam ball. It's a little bit lighter. It's 3 ounces, so it's obviously lighter than a baseball. And it because it's lighter, it has exaggerated spin out of the machine. It's like fastball is going to ride a little bit more, breaking balls are going to be a little bit sharper. So it's just going to be like It's basically a plyo ball for the machine in a more difficult environment on the machine. That was the initial idea with it. And then as we started sampling them and playing around with them more, we just came to the conclusion it's like, one, like you can swing an underload bat off the machine and it's not going to break the bat because it's foam. Right. Yeah. And on that note,
like, does that happen a lot? Like, do underloaded bats get dinged up quite quickly?
Oh yeah. The barrel will explode. Okay. If you hit it off too high a velo or if a guy has too much bat speed, just because it's composite material and it's much lighter.
Yeah.
So it's not as
too much bat speed. Awesome. Just throwing it out there. You guys
had
cool.
We'll be working on
a couple off seasons ago. We had one big leaguer that I will not name who broke 3 underload bats in front toss.
Love it. We
can in one session.
No, over the course of a couple weeks.
I know who you're talking about.
Over the course of a couple weeks, and he had a very successful season.
Yes, I remember that season. Yeah.
Hit a lot of homers.
Yeah.
So yeah, like on that note, it's like we can swing high intensity off the machine with a light bat. So like more specific environment, you're gonna have higher transfer of training to the game. Which is amazing, obviously. And then from there, it's just like we obviously have guys hit in high velocity environments all the time. Like you mentioned earlier, we've been doing that for a long time, basically since the start of driveline hitting. And with that, like you're obviously wanting guys to focus on moving fast. We care about bat speed. That matters a lot. So like with these, you can train bat speed and bat to ball skills at the same time. Plus, like when you're hitting off the machine with the metal bat, wood bat, whatever, and you just hit a ball off the end of the bat and your hand is completely fucked. Like your day is finished. Your day is done. Like you're done hitting on the machine, and if you are, you're not swinging fast. The next day, you remember you fucked up your hand. Then the next day, you're like, I fucked up my hand yesterday, so I'm sure as hell not swinging hard off the machine. So you start taking 60-70% effort swings, and it's just like it's like a waste of training reps, right? So like this sort of thing, it's like you get the benefits of like exaggerated pitch movement. So it's harder environment, gonna make the game easier. You get the feedback of bat to ball quality. If you don't hit it flush, it's gonna backspin, topspin all over the place. You hit it flush, it goes a mile. You're not gonna hurt your hands. You're not gonna break a bat. So like there's obviously like we've had guys this past pro off season that were like rehabbing handmade injuries who just swung the shit out of these because it was never gonna sting their hand. So there's a ton of value to them, and the more we've used them, the more uses we've found for them. And like I know I've said it before, and I genuinely mean it. It's like I will never work with a hitter again without using these combos.
Yeah, and like there's plenty of use cases too that we didn't even like attend. Like it was like we started selling them, and we had like multiple MLB teams be like, "Oh, our medical staff is pumped about these." Like they're pumped about it. And we like that didn't even like cross our mind at first of guys with like blown up like wrists or handmates or hands and like different things, and just like how much less stress it is on them. But like to go back even farther from where Tanner started with that too, it's like it wasn't like we just like had the idea and decided to make them too. Like we wanted a more bat to ball thing, so we actually bought light flights first.
Bought what?
Light flights, like the yellow foam ones.
Okay.
And so we'd throw those out of the machine at our guys at first, but it was like we wanted exaggerated pitch movement, like closer to game speed, but those were just like unrealistic.
Way too much.
Right?
Like if you threw a full distance out of the machine, it's just gonna rise up and hit the top of the cage. So like with these, like
people still
the ways that these are designed, it's like you could just set up the machine. You have to tinker with the machine a little bit, obviously. Because it has exaggerated movement, right? But like you can just rip full distance heaters at 100 miles an hour. And it's just like one, you're not gonna get hurt if you get hit. Like we talked about Brady getting smoked by a 100-mile-an-hour ball out of the machine. So like that's another aspect of these too. Is like one, they're really fucking fun to hit. Like if you hit it flush, it's gonna go a mile. So us washed up hitting guys, when we get a chance to hit off them on the machine or like on hit tracks, you just get to launch balls, right? But they've been really, really great for our youth academy teams. It's just like human nature, right? Like kids are afraid to get hit by a baseball, right? So like we want our kids to hit off the machine. This just takes away the fear of getting hurt when you're training. So like your training is just that much better every single day because of it. So like you said, we just found more and more uses as we started using them.
No, I mean, I'm very hyped on how that product's come along. Also, I was gonna say, I mean, I feel like the whole last 5 minutes, I just gotta clip it up and send it to Ferris. Just have that tagline: "Don't want fucked up hands, buy Smash Factor balls." Because I mean, very relatable for.
You tired of breaking bad?
All of us.
Smash Factor.
Yeah, all of us. The two products, the two driveline products that I get asked about the most by like college programs and pro clubs are Pulse on the throwing side and Smash Factor. It's like not even close. Like everybody's interested in this. Everybody understands. I think at least in the pro game, I think everybody's starting to or does understand the value of not only is it a safer training tool, but it provides like an environment where it's harder to train, which is a positive thing for training to be game ready. So like, there's a lot of like, just to like attest to that. Like I get all the time, like multiple times a week, people like, hey, what about smash factor balls? Like, what about this? What about that? Like when we were playing basketball the other day, like we talked about like a question I got about it, like similar kind of stuff, like pretty regularly. So
yeah, obviously we started for hitting too, but like that was the main reason we started. But like a ton of teams use them for defense. Like,
oh, really? Like they just
your boy
Kai uses them with the Giants.
I don't remember
He's
some machines called the little red Kai machine is what we called it. But yeah, we use a lot of like
you said the little red time machine?
I think we call it the Kai machine.
Oh,
it's like a little red machine,
little red pitching machine.
And there's like smaller gloves. I think it's Valley Sports makes these gloves that he uses, like different size gloves and weighted gloves, and like it's for backhand training and fronthand training and stuff. It's like pregame work, and Kai's figured out ways to like implement these balls into that pregame training.
Yeah, our academy teams use them for defense in the facility. We use them with our catchers pretty often. Same idea. Like you could just yeet balls out of the machine, really, really high velocity.
And have to make adjustments to dress more balls that are more.
Oh, so like catcher training, pretty much. Without getting hurt.
Max will use them as catchers for high velo out of the machine. Pitch moves more, obviously.
Different parts of the strike zone.
Truly been great, man. I've had a lot of random college coaches hit me up on Twitter and just like give me feedback. It's like, hey, we're in the Midwest, so we're just in the gym.
Yeah.
We don't actually have a cage, but we're hitting in this gym all the time, right? Like, are these gonna break a window? Yeah. It's like, okay, like your windows are a little reinforced, obviously, but like they're just like hitting these in the gym because they can't hit baseballs in there, and like this is gonna be way more beneficial than hitting a wiffle ball in your gym. So like I've gotten a lot of feedback from coaches like that who absolutely love it. I guess shameless plug, right? It's just like a game changer for programs like that, where you can't be outside, you can't hit baseballs inside, your cage is broken or whatever, right? It's just a safer product to hit with.
If we're making a product that applies to like little league and major leagues, I think it's a good product. Like, those are pretty just blanket cut and dry. Like I think if there's a use case for every level of baseball that's applicable, then great. It's a great product.
Herzie, where do you live? Up here?
Like a few miles on the road.
Quick pivot.
Like too close.
Said quick pivot.
Quick pivot, man. Checks out. You want to see if you can hit a smash factor ball that far?
Yeah. That's what I was asking.
It's far enough you can't hit a smash factor ball in my park.
What city? Like in Kent?
Yeah.
In Kent? Okay.
Yeah.
Or like what's your lease length?
I think it's a year or 10 months. I think it was.
You looking for a roommate?
Why you want to take it up?
I mean, you got a cushy spot or what?
It's a 1 bedroom. It's nice.
Bunk beds?
Yeah.
We can, more room for activities.
Exactly.
Yeah, got it.
Love that.
Yeah, it's like it's a few miles on the road. It's like it's a pretty easy location. I figured like go to Seattle sometimes and hang out at Driveline, hang out with you guys sometimes.
Well, that's what I was asking.
I'm not from the area.
I was curious. I was curious at like what you thought of Seattle as a overall like social area. I was curious if you were living in Seattle or you were scumbag.
Yeah, I'm living out here. Guys. So like I'm from
close to
the
facility.
You got a problem with the Hitting Collective?
Yeah, I just spent all my time here. No, I'm from New York originally. I lived in Korea, lived in Dallas when I was scouting. I've lived in Scottsdale. I've lived in LA. So like I've been in like major cities. So like Seattle is a major city. Like there's a lot of different culture and stuff. The outdoor stuff's beautiful. You can go hiking, you can go on the lake, you can go skiing. Like it's really pretty. So like the winter weather was tough. I moved up here in January. That was
You're gonna love the summer, man.
yeah, I am already. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess for summer. I guess for summer.
Way happier now. The sun's out. So that was tough. But like overall, it's a beautiful city. I like exploring foods. I was pretty picky, and then I moved to Korea, and I had to die if I didn't eat the food that was on my plate. Yeah. So now I just eat anything.
What's the weirdest thing you ate in Korea?
Samnakji. It's like I think it's like a squid, and they like kill it right in front of you, and then they chop the head off, and then you just eat it.
Is that the one where
it's still moving? Yeah, the tentacles are still moving when you eat it. So like it's like they say it's alive. It's not actually alive. But yeah, SANNAKJI. Yeah, it's like you have to like chew it really like because you can get like eaten or whatever.
Was it good?
It was fine. It was like sushi without the rice. It was like it was like just very protein. It's like very healthy.
Interesting.
I love Korean food. That was great. If you ever want recommendations,
I do.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's awesome. You like spicy?
Oh yes.
I got you.
I'm from Phoenix, man.
I got you.
I haven't been at Korean barbecue place close by. I think it's like Iron Pot or whatever.
Iron Pot, yeah. It's over, There's like a good bakery over there too.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's a place in Federal Way. So Brandon, his wife's Korean.
Yeah.
And so there's a place in Federal Way we went to. That's like I walked in, I was the only white person there. Yeah. And I was like, all right, this.
That's how you know it's gonna be good.
Yeah, it was either gonna be like you either have to like be all Americans or all non-Americans for it to be good, I think. and like it was great. I walked in and ordered in Korean. I think I surprised a woman, which I was very proud of myself about.
Hell yeah.
Um,
That's the only reason you went to Korea.
yeah, 100%. Just
You
to be able to
saved
surprise
them.
random
Just for
waiters in
that
America.
moment.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a place in Federal Way. I'll send it to you. That's pretty good. Or we can just go there.
I would love to.
Yeah, it's like
I
15
would love
minutes on
to.
the road.
We'll have the next pod there.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
So
No, yeah. I guess I was asking. I was curious if you had like been at 6 spots in Seattle or just the overall area.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I've done like touristy stuff. My sister came out to visit last month, so we did like Pike Place. We did like all the standard touristy stuff. Like Cap Hill's a cool area. Like I spend a lot of time downtown. I went up to like Gasworks and like that whole area. So, I'll just like sometimes just go into the city and just like randomly like hit a coffee shop and like Google like, oh, what's nearby, and just kind of walk around. I'll end up doing like 30,000 steps just like walking around the city. Which I'm kind of because like living in Korea, that was like I didn't have a car. Yeah. Public transit everywhere, so you just like go.
Just used to it.
Yeah, you're just like used to that. I grew up in New York, some kind of thing. So like. Yeah, it's been cool so far. Just exploring and like it's a new city for me, so like exploring the area has been cool.
Excited for you to get to enjoy the summer.
Yeah, hell yeah, I'm really excited.
The summer here is special.
The sun came out like 2 weeks ago. When we played basketball.
Yep.
And it was like that was like the first day. I was like, oh, this is so much better.
You forget how much you love and appreciate the sun.
Yeah, it's great. It was great. So I'm very excited about continuing.
I'm very biased to the sun now. Growing up in Phoenix, living there for 23 years.
You never had rain.
I had no idea.
See, I had a shovel growing up. My mom worked in the schools growing up, so she'd always get like a message earlier than everybody else if we had a snow day. So she'd like wake us up like 5 a.m, like, oh, we have school today. You need to shovel us out. I'm like 14, I'm trying to sleep. So yeah, I hated snow. So I'm very pro the sunshine. I like this weather a lot right now.
You get here in January, you're like, what the hell is
it? Was tough, and I moved to Scottsdale.
Yeah, same thing happened to me. I came up in 2018.
You're an LA guy, right?
I'm in LA right now, but I grew up mostly Bay Area. Okay. But still,
sunshine,
like, yeah. I mean, like SF and stuff is chilly, but like that's the most. Sure. But I think my first week at Driveline was like the second week of January 2018, and it was like pouring rain on like my second day there, and I mean, you guys know I like travel light and just live light, so I had like I put all my stuff in a rental car, didn't have any clothes, whatever, and got to Seattle. And I was like, oh, I gotta buy a fuck ton of shit. It's just pouring.
Definitely
rain.
didn't have an umbrella.
Yeah. I still don't have an umbrella, bro.
I don't know. It doesn't rain that hard.
It was just like the second day. It was like super reactionary. So I was like, oh fuck, I gotta get gloves, beanie, rain jacket, all this shit. Yeah.
As much as I hate the winter here, I will say it doesn't actually rain that much or that hard.
It just drizzles.
It's just like dark.
Yeah. It's
misty.
It's just dreary. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Seattle winter at all.
I'm okay with that. I don't mind as much, but yeah, it's definitely like something people think it's just like crazy rain. And,
summer is impossible to beat, though.
Yeah, it's not that much rain. The dreariness got to me a lot, but like the rain wasn't that bad. It was just like the dreariness. But yeah, now it's perfect every day.
It's incredible.
Yeah, because a lot of summers will just be like way too hot. You're just like walking around 110. No. I'm saying here it's good, but I'm saying like Vegas, LA, Phoenix, it's just like you're just melting.
Got a snowbird.
And like those best months are like what March, October, probably best months.
Sorry, open Scottsdale facility.
Why I used to think snowboarding was just old people. Now I'm just like, no, they just have money. They're smart. Like,
yeah, it makes sense. These people get it.
Yeah, it's just like they can do it. So.
Yeah. You guys got a rec for Herzie? Yeah, like a spot in Seattle.
I'm down for whatever.
What's like the what would be a fire divey bar to hit past midnight?
Past midnight.
I mean, there's only one answer. Past 2 a.m.
Mark's just trying to get me all these spots he goes to. I'm not trying to hit the Mark brand spots.
Mark's trying to get you to Seattle, dog.
Yeah, get the street hot dogs.
He's trying to hit me with the college bars. Like, I'm good. I got it a few years ago.
I mean, I went to food first, man, not dive bars. Like for first place,
I had Dick's. I had Dick's a few weeks ago.
The like nachos, place. Yeah, and like Matador is.
Oh, Matador.
If you haven't been to Matador,
that's the
spot for nachos.
Okay. It's like happy hour nachos after 10, I think.
Something like that.
Like $5. Like I mean, you add like $2 or $3 for the meat. There's one in Ballard. There's one in West Seattle.
Okay.
There's one in Tacoma, I think.
I'll Google it.
But the nachos are like phenomenal. Okay. But it was $5 like a heaping plate with like $2 or $3.
This is what I came to hang out with Dick's for.
Yeah, like full like guac, beans, cheese, sour cream.
Full go.
Meat, like dude, it's huge. Like it is very hard to finish in one.
It might have gone up a little bit. No inflation is
maybe
getting the Matador nachos, but
I mean I'm in. It sounds you guys sold
really
it pretty well.
Really
I'm in.
You like Thai food?
Yes.
And Thai Tom over by UW.
Bodhi told me about
that. Fantastic.
Yeah, Bodhi's a Thai guy.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bodie's your food rec.
Yeah, I'm down for it. Like I said,
Bodie's
living
the
in
food
Korea,
rec.
like my rule when I went over there was like, I'll try anything you put on my plate, but if I don't like it, I can't eat. Like I won't finish it. But like there was really nothing that I didn't like.
Yeah.
If you ask any of the locals here, they're gonna tell you Dick's Burgers is
I
the
had
spot,
Dick's, yeah.
but it's just like fine.
It was
You know,
good.
it's good.
burger.
It's not in-
I think part of the appeal is like it is like cheaper and quicker than like In-N-Out.
It was easy.
Like
It was-
it is just like significantly cheaper
I won't.
and quicker.
Everything was good at Dick's.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I might have like been a little,
So it was great.
in a different frame of
Yeah,
mind.
so it was great.
But yeah, it was great at the time. Yeah,
Uh,
I think it was fine.
It was phenomenal when I ate it. But
Yeah, I think
it's
I'd order it
realistically
again
just
at that
fine.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. Momiji's and Umi's sushi place in Cap Hill
Okay.
are like money. Umi's has like an insane like happy hour.
Okay.
Deal.
Okay. There was a ramen spot I went to in Cap Hill. Danbo. It's pretty good. Check that place
I
out.
haven't even been.
Yeah, check it out.
It was
Yeah.
pretty good.
If you like.
Do
yeah,
you have any recs for us?
that place?
Yeah,
Any
yeah.
other ones that
Pretty
you
good.
did that you know and love?
I don't know. I went to like Pink Door, but that place is like famous
Mhm.
in like right by Pike Place. I have to think. Oh, there was like a Cajun restaurant. I forget the name. It was in like the Green Lake area. I forget the name, but I'll
Ooh.
send it to you.
I mean,
If you said it, I would know it. It's like
yeah,
I had
I'm
gumbo.
near Green Lake right
yeah,
now.
it was really good. I forget the name of it, but Jeremy knows it also. I'll send it to you guys. I forget the name of it, and then you can tweet it if you want,
Sweet.
so everybody knows.
Sweet. There we go, bro.
there you go. I got
Last
you.
minutes of this pod. Hopefully, you guys come up to Seattle. That's actually the pitch. We just drop enough things for people to want to come to
Yeah.
Seattle.
Hey, when you're out here
Yeah.
this summer,
Yeah.
go to Matador.
I did. I won't
Maybe
say
they'll
the name.
sponsor us.
I won't say the name, but there was a player who we train here who signed with a new club in the off season, and we put together like a big like Google sheet of like all these food recs for him, and so he has like a bunch of restaurant recs in his new city. So if you come to train at Driveline, Josh will give you food recs.
Yeah.
ours.
Get in now, running out of slots.
Let's go.
Not for
Restaurant.
food though. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wait list. Get on the wait list, but we'll still hook you up with the food right.
I got you.
While you try to get off
Gotta
the
take
wait
care
list.
of people. We're nice guys.
But anyways, all right, I'll wrap it there. Thanks, guys. Say last word you guys want. Oh my god, I still feel asleep.
Hit barrels.
Smash balls.